Welcome to the Mindful Bird Sit with Bird Mentor. Today we're going to be talking about the three-step process that I learned from my teacher, Dr. Ming Wu. It's a way to help us connect more deeply with ourselves and to slow our minds down. In addition, we're also going to be talking about the energy or spirit, if you will, maybe even the gestalt of a bird and how that can help us to connect more deeply with them and to identify them in the field. All right, let's get started. Okay, so go ahead and find a comfortable place to sit, somewhere where you can let yourself just get grounded. Have a good view of the outside. We'll be using our eyes mostly today. We will be doing some listening, of course, always, but mostly it's going to be our eyes. So make sure you have a nice view, ideally, of birds if possible. Again, if not, if you have no birds in your yard today, it's okay. You can always feel free to look at trees or butterflies or whatever else is captivating your attention. You don't have to limit yourself to birds, of course. So, all right, let yourself just settle into your place right now. And let's first begin with just connecting with ourselves. So feeling your feet on the earth or the ground beneath you. And really do your best to be mindful of that connection. So feel the sole of your feet or foot on the shoe that you're in. Maybe if you're barefoot, feel the texture of the ground beneath you. Just really noticing what that sensation is like to connect our souls to the earth right now. And then once you feel a sense of connection, you can go ahead and notice your breath. And just noticing how deep or shallow your breath is. Letting yourself follow it. Kind of like you're just tagging along for the ride. So noticing as the breath comes into your body, and then travel with it as it enters your body. And noticing where it goes, noticing where your attention stops, where you no longer feel a connection to it anymore. And then the journey as it leaves your body. So I'll let you do that for a few moments here. Beautiful. So now go ahead and allow your eyes to focus on a point off in the distance. For me, it's a pine cone. You can be looking at anything, the shingle on a roof, you can look at a tree branch, whatever it might be. Just focus on one point right now. Really get all your attention on that one point. And then slowly, slowly begin to expand your field of view. So allowing it to go further and further and further, stretching to the far reaches of your vision without moving your central point, that central focal point. You may notice that your vision becomes a little blurry or soft. And it's perfect. Go ahead and allow your vision to get blurry. Do your best not to fight it. Just let the blur come in and then start to notice what you're perceiving, what else becomes, just shows up, I suppose, in your awareness that you might not have seen before when you were a bit more focused. Beautiful. So do your best to allow yourself to stay in this owl eyes or this softened vision right now. And we're going to begin to listen to the landscape around us And I want you just to imagine that we're going to have a big vortex or a spiral moving around us. And as we expand further and further out, you're going to be stretching your ability to listen and hear. So begin right in front of you, like only maybe just a foot in front of your face. I want you to start to listen for the sounds that you're hearing. And then slowly, you're going to start to expand that spiral. It's going to go all around your body, to each side, behind you, and as you come back to the center, it's going to expand out further. And so I want you to let yourself just travel with this. I'm going to put myself on mute, and we're going to do this for maybe just a couple minutes. And then I want you to really stretch your listening. So kind of every point that you pause on, notice a sound as you get further and further and further out with this big vortex that's traveling around you. So you're just going to be attentive to the sounds while you're also allowing your vision to stay nice and soft. Good work, everybody. Nice. So let yourself just stay in this place of awareness, this softened vision. And I'm going to share a practice with you that I learned from my teacher, Dr. Ming Wu, who's a Chinese doctor in Connecticut. And I'm going to share the 3 words that he shared with us, but you can also think of your own 3 words. So whatever, imagine just sort of three words that represent who you want to be today. We'll start with those, and then I'll share Dr. Wu's words, and you can choose whichever ones you want. So for a moment, just take a moment to think about who you want to be today. What words inspire you? What ways of being inspire you right now? Great. And so whether you came up with them or not, doesn't matter. Dr. Wu has a couple for him. So every day he does this practice. And the important part of the practice, the piece that really stuck with me when we did this, was that you'll say the words, but the important part is I want you just, like, if you're looking at my hand, for instance, I want you just to imagine that there are the mountains, the peaks of which are my fingers, and then the valleys, right? Between each finger, there's a valley. So there's a mountain and a valley. And so when you say the words, those are at the peaks. And then each valley is your breath. So we're going to use that as the exhale. So the inhale is we're going to say a word, and the exhale is going to be our breath, which is just as important as the words that we're saying. So this valley is the pause, right? That nothingness, that stillness. So I want you to be as mindful of the stillness as you are of the words that we're saying. So Dr. Wu's words are air, light, and water flow. So it goes, I am air, I am light, I am water flow. We're going to do it much slower, and you can use your words. Let's say it was courageous, inspired, and playful or something. You can say, I am courageous, I am inspired, I'm playful, whatever your words were, or you can choose Dr. Wu's words. So I'll just say his words, and you can insert yours if you want to. And this is a way just for us to, again, practice another approach to quieting our minds. So just let your voice, or your breath, come into a natural rhythm first. So we'll just be quiet for a moment. And now with your inhale, we'll say just one word at a time. So it's going to be, with the inhale, I, and then your exhale is the pause, is the stillness. Your inhale is am, and the exhale is the pause. And the inhale is air. Exhale is the pause. Inhale, I. Exhale, pause. Inhale, am. Exhale, pause. Inhale, light. Exhale, pause. Inhale, I. Exhale, stillness. Inhale, am. Exhale, stillness. Inhale, water flow. Exhale, stillness. And let's do this one more time, but in silence, in your own rhythm. And just allow yourself to track those words and give as much importance and value to the valley or the pause as you do to the words themselves. Good work. So some of you may have found that your thinking mind came in and you may have lost track of where you were. And that's just perfect. No judgment about any of that. That's why this is practice. We're learning. So now we're going to be giving our attention to the birds. You can always come back to this breath practice if you find yourself getting kind of busy in your mind. So what I want you to do is just allow your gaze softly, as it is, to give your attention to a bird that you might be seeing. And when you do this, instead of trying to identify the bird, what I want you to do is just notice its energy or its spirit. So if all you had to go on in your identification of a bird was that bird's energy or spirit, its behavior, I suppose you could call it, but I like to think a bit more broad and not limit us to just behavior, but the energetics of that bird. So go ahead and allow yourself just to watch one bird if you can, and if it flies away, go to another. And like I said, you could listen to a butterfly if you want to, or watch a butterfly or a leaf, whatever it may be. But I'm going to give us a few moments to be, a good couple minutes to be in silence and just looking at the energetics of the birds and noticing how they're unique or distinct from one another. If you're finding that there are no birds to look at the moment, you can bring yourself back to the breath work. I am air, I am light, I am water flow, or whatever your words were, and just keep observing until something does come by. Just remembering the gestalt is like, it's like if a bird had a spirit animal, or a spirit person, maybe you could define it. It's like, oh, that reminds me of like my cousin Susie, or you can even think of it as like another animal, like, wow, that's really like rabbit-like. It's just so quick and hoppy and jumping around. So just see if you can sort of make an association with the energy of the bird. And then just noticing if, again, if all you had was that energy, that sort of spirit of the bird, could you figure out who that bird was? Is it enough information? And this is really the culmination of learning and the culmination of time in the field, when you can get to that place where in just a split second, because usually of the spirit of this bird, you know who it is. So today we're just going to practice looking for that energetic or spirit of the bird. Good work. Give yourself just another minute to continue your observation, and then we'll be wrapping it up after that. And if you want to, if you've been looking at a particular bird or species, maybe look around and see if there's anything else that catches your attention. All right, good work. So take the next minute to offer your own blessing or gratitude to those ones that you got to hang out with this morning. Beautiful. So thank you for this practice today, everybody. Thank you for coming. And if you need to head out, thank you, thank you. And if you'd like to stay for our chat, please do. I'm really excited to hear what occurred for folks, what came up for people, how many folks were able to figure out your bird by just its energy, or had maybe never considered that before, or whatever came up for you. What would you like to share? I think you all have been here before, so you know the drill. You can just raise your hand. Yeah, Anne. Unless I think you were swatting flies. Okay, you were swatting. Yeah. Got it. Yeah, Cheryl, please go for it.
I had several house finches, females, hanging out, and this past week I had my sister-in-law out here, and she couldn't sit still for more than 2 or 3 seconds before she had to get up and go do something or put something away or start a new project. And so this one house finch that was particularly busy, I thought of as Fran. So that was very odd for me.
That's awesome. I like that. Yeah. Yeah. Do you feel like that's emblematic of house finches in general, or just that particular house finch?
Well, the other females were just perfectly content to sit at the feeder and then fly away. Perhaps the Fran bird didn't have any chicks to feed or something, because it was as if she needed to do a whole thing, go on the roof, go back to the feeder, pop over to the bird bath, sit on the tree, and just sort of looking around and seeing if everything was in order, that kind of thing, which
Yeah.
is,
That's
and the
great.
other ones were busy feeding or coming in and going out.
Yeah, so you got really deep because not only were you looking at the energetics of the species, but you were also looking at the individuals, because every bird is just like humans, they're all unique and individual. They have their own like personalities, if you will. And yeah, so I love that you found Fran amidst the other ones. And that's cool because who knows, maybe it'll help you find her again, in the future. She's got some unique behaviors that define her. Yeah. So cool, Cheryl. Thank you. Who else would like to share? Yeah, Gabrielle and then Claudia.
I'm in Joshua Tree in the desert, and it's very, very hot. And I'm braving sitting outside. And it's also very still. And this bird flew by, I don't know what kind, And what came to me in terms of energy was free as a bird. I just really related to just the wonderful freedom of just flying for the joy of it. And then it, left, and there weren't any other birds. And I have red ants at my feet. And I started watching them and being actually fearful of them because I know they sting. And I had to put my feet up. But it was such a different energy. They were like moving, 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 I think looking for food, and thinking my feet were food. And so it was a whole different energetics with the the ants. And the other thing about the ants was it's like they all had the same energy. There wasn't like an individual kind of energy. And then I moved over to a wire, and there are morning doves, and they're just sitting still. And I was actually thinking of your teacher, like they were just like they're on the wire meditating on the sun or something. Anyway, it was really wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome, Gabrielle. Yeah, that reminds me of like the hive mind, or thinking of either birds or fish, when they move together as one. I think ants are really similar in that way, where they do have that. Of course, there's individuals amongst them, but they have that capacity to really think as one, that the many can think as one and behave as one. And yeah, beautiful that you took your practice to the ant world this morning. Yeah, yeah. Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Claudia, go for it.
Okay, well, mine was kind of similar to hers, except backwards. The first ones I saw were a couple of, they're probably the collared doves. Anyway, they came and were sitting on the telephone pole, and they just, at first they were like very alert, and they were kind of holding still, but they were erect. And then they settled down, and they were just relaxing, and it was relaxing. It was kind of like, how you feel relaxed when a cat just settles down in your house. Anyway, so it was like that. And then all of a sudden they just hopped up and flew off. And then I saw birds up above just swooping and diving. And I thought it was like children on a playground. I have a little grandson who was telling me about his school. They started a couple of weeks ago. He loves recess so much. And he just says, Grandma, I just need to go out and run. And anyway, it was like that. They were just running around, and I thought, they're feeding. And then I thought, they're swallows. And then I recognized the shape, and I thought, yeah, it's swallows. And it's just, I mean, they're still doing it. So it's so fun to watch.
Oh,
Hi,
what a beautiful analogy there with the children on a playground. It really can feel like that when you watch swallows sometimes, they really do have that just like, whoosh, whoosh, we're over here, we're over there, we're on the swing, we're on this, we're playing, like, yeah, yeah. Oh, I love that so much. I was also watching swallows, except I think mine were behaving a little differently because this is one of the first times that I've seen like a lot of swallows down here. Over the winter there, or summer, sorry, there haven't been. I've seen like one or two, but in the last week or so, I've seen more and more. And today they were just coming in. It's like they were coming in twos and threes and twos, and I think I got up to like 70 or so just like going by, which for me is very different. I've only seen swallows do that a couple times when they're gathering near the shore. Is usually what I see is like where they're coming in. They're not actively feeding at the moment, but they're moving. They're moving to go somewhere, and yeah. So
yeah,
like
here I usually only see groups of swallows by bodies of water. And
yeah.
we've got lakes and rivers, but a little bit further away, so usually don't see them here. But it's been, I don't know if they're traveling or if it's just that it's been so hot, and today it's cooled down, and so maybe they would come a little bit further in. I don't know.
Yeah, it's cool just to see because things are starting to move now for sure. There is migration already underway for some species, so yeah, this is a time to start to like pay attention in all different ways. And who knows? That'd be cool to check out more, Claudia, to dive a little bit deeper into that one. Yeah, sweet. That's awesome. All right, who else would like to share their experience this morning? Della, please. Yeah.
Yeah, I love all of the experiences that everyone's having this morning. It's really interesting, and I really got into this exercise. I really liked it, and so I'll describe a little bit about what I did. I live on the Monterey Peninsula, so we have ocean on three sides here. So um, I've I chose the word ocean, so I am the ocean, and I thought of how powerful and how eternal the ocean is. And then I am the fog because the fog moves from the ocean over the land and it just rolls in. And then I am the forest that takes up that moisture from the fog and 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 then my bird was the Anna's hummingbird, and I was thinking of how the hummingbird's spirit is that it appreciates, it goes around the garden and it tries every flower. and I'm going to be focusing on hummingbirds this week for a project. So that was just kind of a welcoming sign to me that this is my week for hummingbirds. So that was my experience.
I love that, Della, so much. Yeah, it makes me think of, I think there's like two funny movies. One had Jim Carrey in it, and the other one I'm not sure, but I don't know if it was called Yes Man or it was called, I forget what it was called, but it was basically in the movie, he had to say yes to everything. That was like the premise of the movie, and it was hilarious, to watch him go through like his day and whatever someone asked him or said to him, he just said yes, just to kind of like change things up in his life. And there was like this, you follow him through 24 hours where it just was like this transformative experience for him to just try new things. And it reminded me, like when I thought of the way you were describing the hummingbird, that's what I thought of, where the hummingbird just goes to the garden and it's just like, yes, 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 just really embracing life, like embracing, like I'll try this flower and we'll try this one and we'll try that one. And of course it says no. And I do feel like there is an energy of the hummingbird that's like very definitive, where it just like it knows what it wants and it knows what it doesn't like that one, or like I don't want you in my space or whatever, so it can be very clear. But there is also that aspect of the hummingbird that is, I've never really considered that before, that it is very receptive and open and like receiving just yes, yes, yes. Wow, Della, thank you so much. Yeah. Yeah, Julia, please.
Well, a couple of things. Along this line, yesterday or the day before, I was looking out and I saw that there was a bird on the feeder, and it was on the backside, and I could just see the tail. And I could tell by the behavior that it was a Carolina wren, because how they flick their, do this. And I thought, I was so proud of myself because I thought, I don't have to see the whole bird. I can tell by the way that's moving that that's a wren. And I was really proud of myself until finally the bird moved around where I could see the whole bird. And it was a young downy woodpecker. And so I thought, oh, I've never noticed their tails flicking around like that. So I was fooled, and I had to chuckle at myself. But I thought, today was very timely. And so looking out today, I'm so thankful for this time to just spend looking in the yard, because we have commented here among my friends how we haven't really had hummingbirds, that even people who have a lot of them coming to their feeders only have a few this year. And by golly, there's a little hummingbird, and I have a couple of dead pine branches, and they love to perch on that. But then when they're feeding, they're just so busy, I mean, their wings are so busy. And then they go perch on the branch, and they're just this little bit of quiet right there, and
will perch for a little while, and then they'll chase each other. So they're like opposites there. And finally, a goldfinch has found my coneflowers. At least one goldfinch has shown up today. And I think of them, of course, when they feed, they perch and then they just, pick the flowers. Their body's not busy. They're just settled and eating right there. But I think of them as late bloomers, like the rest of the year, everybody else is busy and they're kind of waiting around. But then when they get their color, they're extraordinary. So anyway, so that's my story for today.
Oh, wow. Julia, well, it's really cool that you brought up the young downy because it was a young red-bellied that inspired me to do this practice with you all today because I was looking out, asking the question of like, what will I do today? And this little, all I saw was the shadow. It was just like the silhouette of the bird, and it had this really skinny neck and funny little head. And I thought, okay, that's either a jay that's like, lost its head feathers because they, birds can do that. And I said, or it might be a young one. I'm not so sure. And then all of a sudden I saw it like grab the branch and it sort of like flipped upside down, kind of and like sort of swung there for a moment. Like it just was unsteady. And then I could hear a red-bellied call next to it. And I thought, oh, I bet that's the kid of the red-bellied. Because my mind was like putting all the pieces together slowly. But it did fool me at first. I think the young ones, because like with a downy, they don't normally flick their tails, but a young one's like getting its balance and moving weird and so I think these young ones can throw us off from the typical like adult sort of proper behavior, Yeah, yeah. I love that you brought that up and shared that it tricked you. You thought it was the wren before. Yeah. Thank you. That's a good one. That's great. All right. Anyone else want to share? Okay. So where I want to leave us today is a little bit of extra inspiration. So some of you know, and some of you have already done this or signed up. I have a couple different courses that I offer. One of them is an 8-day course. It's called Identify Any Bird Anywhere, and it comes with a book. And so I'm going to say two things. One is that for those of you who have signed up for the course and are part of it, I'm going to just encourage you to go and look at some of the bonuses, because there's that one in particular that has, I think, like 14 extra days of activities. There's some good activities in there. And so I know a few of you are signed up for that course already and are doing it. You can sign up whenever you want. So go and check out the bonuses, because it's really, some of them are really worthwhile to give you a little extra, something to work on or to be focusing on. And for those of you who've never heard of it, I'm going to put the link in the chat right here. And it's just an excellent way, because most of us know that if we're just left to our own devices without a systematic approach to learning about anything, that it'll take a long time. And so I have created this approach to learning that really helps speed things up for people. Not like fast, like that we have to get anywhere quickly, but just that you can actually start to sink in and connect more deeply and not have to have it take you forever to do that. And so, so I would just love for folks to join the course if you want to. And the other cool thing I'm going to mention is that I'm going to be transforming this course into a membership, and everyone that signs up or is already a member of the course, you're going to get sort of grandmothered in to the course, to the membership aspect of it. And with the membership, there's going to be all sorts of videos from professional birders. There's going to be really cool things that are offered as part of the course. There's going to be monthly meetings with me and all sorts of things like that. But it's going to take me a month or two to do that. So anyway, if you sign up now, you're going to be grandmothered into that. And we'd just love to see more people participate and check it out. So I'm going to put a link in the chat right here for folks to check it out. So just click on that link and you can check out the course. And it's just it's an 8-day course. It doesn't take much. You get a book along with it. And like I said, there's tons of bonuses that come with it too. So it's an 8-day course plus more. And would love to see you in there. So that's all I have. Just keep remembering that practice too that we just did, which is the I am air, light, or water, or as Della said, where were you? Ocean, fog, and forest. That was so beautiful. Yeah, so whatever words you want to connect with, but just remember each time, remembering to go into that valley, and then that breath, that pause and that stillness is just as important. And all of us could use that reminder, right? In our busy lives to slow down and to appreciate and value the stillness as much as we appreciate and value the doing, right? So thanks everybody for your stories today and for playing with me and with all of us, and we'll see you next time. All right,
Thank you,
take
Kristi.
care. Yeah, lots of love. See you.